Good evening. It is the 19th of July 2022 and doing just a short stream. Testing a couple of things tonight too with the stream setup. So again, mainly focused on the audio. The music is a bit loud, isn't it? Alright, let's adjust that. Let's make it a bit quieter. I think something like that would be good. How does that sound? So, I guess I want to make sure I'm not too close to the microphone, because otherwise it sounds a bit weird. I've got the microphone cable sort of sitting in an odd spot, so let me adjust that. It's really important to get this stuff rock steady, you know? Hello, Fusion. Yes, we've made 1K. How exciting. Now, how does this music sound? What if I jump ahead to something else? Yeah, we can hear that. And it's not too loud, you know. Thank you very much, Fusion. You know, it's a bit of a team effort, you know. Just as much as it's on me to continually produce content, it also helps astonishingly to have people who are talking to me, active in the chat. You don't have to be here every day. You don't have to be here for every stream. Just whenever, you know? And if you can't be here live, the comments are always appreciated and I always read them. You know? So you might notice in the bottom left-hand corner, I've got an audio visualizer going. I just thought I'd try it for something a bit different. You know? Just a little bit of fun. So what I'm going to do now is just run a bit of a short testing stream. So we are going to continue testing the Blastoise deck to see where we get to with it. Now the problem with this audio is I can barely hear it through the mic where I've got the headphones plugged into. I want to be able to hear it a bit better than I am. I'll play with it after this game, I suppose. Galissapod Zoroark, what year is this? Looks like we're up against some kind of Zoroark toolbox, which we may or may not be able to compete with. The double VIP pass here is going to make for a very hectic turn one. So let's see how we go. I wonder if it's something I can adjust. Oh, yeah, that's a bit better. That's a bit better. The volume slider that's available to me on the microphone helps. So we get the pick of whatever we want here. We want Greninja. We want a Squirtle. VIP pass again. We need a Diancie and a Wishy-Washy. And that gives us a little bit of everything. And I think we're just going to concealed cards. And we'll retreat a horsey. That's alright. Crafted Chimp. Welcome to the stream. And good evening. At least it's evening for me. Okay, do we want to bench any other Pokemon? Not really. I could level ball for another horsey. It's probably not a bad idea, actually. Let's do it. Or I go Diancie, actually. That's a good idea. We'll do it this way. Okay. Now that is a very ideal turn 1. Going into our second turn, we'll be able to rare candy the Squirtle into a Blastoise and Vitality Spring onto the Wishy-Washy. If they do knock out this Diancie, we've got the Diancie in the back ready to take its place. That is a bit unfortunate. We really liked this hand. We really, really did. So now we're going to have to make do with whatever's next. Yeah, what? So maybe I can turn this back down a bit. And then what I want is to adjust my mix, my monitor mix. So that doesn't seem to have worked how I wanted it either. Turning it up that way hasn't worked. What have I done? Oh no. Can I still hear it? Yeah. Okay. So let's promote the Diancie. Let's training court. Taking energy back. So I think we're going to level ball here and we'll thin by taking one Diancie out of the deck. And then we're going to concealed cards. Okay, so research there is quite good. I think I'm going to attach an energy to the Diancie. We don't need that many energy on the Wishy-Washy in order to attack. So we're kind of okay. We're kind of okay. I'm going to quick ball, get rid of Diancie here. And we'll grab a horsey, which will start forming our mid to late game. On a level ball here, and it's a bit... Could be a bit suspect doing it this way, but even if they do knock out the Seadra, we do have another horsey on the bench. Let's research. No candy is a bit of a bummer. It's alright, let's spike draw. We're already like quite far behind, so there's the Irida, which is good. Hey, anime. What's cooking? Bit of a short stream from me tonight. We're just doing a bit of a test stream. I've got a... How would you call it? Got some programs that I'm testing out and whatnot. So, let's go Wishy-Washy because we do have the Irida on the turn. But we have... Oh, that's a bit insulting as well. So let's go Candy Blastoise. And let's go Irida. And we'll go Candy... I think we take a horsey here. because we do have the other Kingdra in hand already. What's a bit of a bother here is that we lose like yet another turn. We kind of just lose to the Flapple, right? Well, we can make them work for it though, so we'll see, I guess. So I'll just go 3 energy there to be safe. And let's put some energy on Radiant Greninja as well. Okay, for some reason, my headphones are not playing back any audio. Ah, this would be why. So if I change this to just this. Okay, now I can hear the music. Alright, a bit of an untimely end for the Greninja. Let's promote Wishy Washy. Incense grabs us Kingdra. The kind of unfortunate thing with this board is we're simply so far behind that it's hard to engineer a scenario where we come back from behind. The Greninja was kind of the start, but yeah. Anime, yeah, we can play a game. We can play a game, if you like. I'm only streaming for a very short while tonight. Just to... It's a bit of a testing stream to road test the app that goes with the Shure microphone. And just to try out this audio visualizer I've got on the left, the bottom left, just for fun. So I can definitely hear the music over there, but I want it to play through the mic. Alright, well they scooped. Now, I'm just doing I'm doing yet another sound test, so please bear with me while I do this. So in the end, what I really want is to know that the audio levels are all nice and that it's not too loud. So I'm going to put it back to the middle of that song. Hi, Blahaj. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the stream. I'm not sure if you've been here before, but I've seen your comments, and I appreciate your engagement and interaction. Music's very quiet. I'm gonna have to work on it. Hey. I mean, all I gotta do is up the audio over here, right? And that sounds a bit better, I think. Yeah. I could put it down just a little bit like that. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I don't know why I was making it so difficult for myself. Just adjust the actual source of the audio. Yeah, and that sounds good. Okay. You gave a like. Thank you very much, Bulhaz. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. And how are you? Are you playing Pokemon? Have you been playing Pokemon? Oh, Anime, are you free for a game? Yeah. So, are you playing the Pokemon card game? What decks are you trying out? What have you been playing? So, my presentation of the audio on the left is a little bit scuffed, but it's an idea. I'll probably work on the presentation later tonight. I just wanted to try something a little bit different. For these streams where I'm not using a camera, just because I have less time in the evening, like when it's a shorter stream, basically, or whenever I don't feel like using a camera for whatever reason. I just want something in the bottom left-hand corner. Short of going a VTuber avatar or something like that, I thought a visualizer and just my logo might be nice. So Blahaj, what decks are you playing? Now, I'm very keen on keeping this hand because Irida is quite good. So we need to do this. We need Squirtle. Okay. Alright, Squirtle, step 1. Then we're going to attach here because I do want to use Spike Draw. We're going to Quick Ball. And I think we get rid of Kingdra because I don't think that one's going to come together. And we'll go Wishy-Washy. Okay. And we'll Spike Draw. Let's see what we get. Anime developing the board. A Charm comes down. Ultra Ball is a very powerful Pokemon search item. Almost assuredly, the Bibarel. That looked like a Bibarel. So, with the Ambipom hitting the discard pile, it very much looks like this is an Ambipom Charm deck. Ah, thank you, Blahaz. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm also thinking about implementing a chat box, maybe up here. I don't know. So usually I like streaming with a clean interface, but also for these streams where I'm not going to... So these streams are typically not going to be individual videos, so I'm also going to turn down the sensitivity just a little bit on the audio visualizer because I don't like it hitting like the very top. I like it going high, but I don't want it to hit the very top of the box. Okay, so sorry, not Irida. Diancie remaining on board here is quite good for us. It means that we can Irida for the Candy Blastoise, but what I'm going to do is actually Greninja, and then we'll Concealed here. And the reason for that is we're just trying to fish for like other stuff. That is kind of not good enough. We need a little bit more. So what I can do here is use Irida to grab the other Pokemon on the bench that I sort of need to make this turn happen. Yeah. So if I don't have Horsey in play on the same turn that I use Vitality Spring, then the combo is going to break down, basically, is what I'm saying. So we might actually just go Quick Ball here because we can probably get rid of this Diancie. Actually, no. We'll level ball. Alright, so we're going to do it like this. Horsey. level ball. I think we grab another horsey, but in actuality, I want to bench this Diancie instead. I'm going to attach to Greninja, I think. Maybe I keep it in hand. No. We'll just do it like this, and then we'll spike draw. Okay. Ah, I see. Well, thank you very much for joining us. I think that there is Russian language Pokemon cards, isn't there? I'm pretty sure there is. So the attack comes out, and a couple of heads is enough for the knockout on the Diancie. We promote our next Diancie, and that protects our board of Pokemon, which is exactly what we want. Irida here is great, and the horsey on the left there is a nice pickup as well. We're going to grab Rare Candy Blastoise and sort of begin our combo. Now, what we need is a bit of... Actually, let's concealed cards here, because if we can hit a Candy or another Irida, perhaps, it'd be really nice. I'm still going to hold this energy. And then what we're going to do... See, one of the things with this deck that we're up against is that the HP that we're trying to bust through is fairly low. So it's not that crucial for us to keep too much powered up. Maybe I could have put the energy over here. I sort of forgot how many energies we'd be putting down. So, the Ambipom is a new deck, as you all know, that has emerged from the very potent card pool that's present in the Pokemon Go set. Pokemon Go set is the most recent expansion of the game, and it's looking to really shake things up ahead of the World Championships in August, which is really, really close now. It's only a couple of weeks away. People who are testing have got a lot to think about. They've got a lot to consider, you know. So what I'm going to do here is promote Greninja. Okay. Now, I like Wishy Washy here. We can manually attach to it. I think that's what I want to do. Rather than trying to fish for another rare candy, let's just do the sure thing. Okay, we do get the candies, which is great. Oh. Oh no. My Kingdras are prized. Or, no, they're in the discard pile. That's bad. That's bad. My bad. Looks like Wishy Washy is going to have to carry us a little bit. Okay. So. Oh, thank you, Blahosh. Irida is fantastic. It means that next turn we can put together the Kingdras. Because what we'll need to do is use Irida to retrieve an Ordinary Rod from the deck. The Ordinary Rod will return our Kingdras, and a couple of energy to boot, and then we'll search them out with incense. So the turn upcoming is quite doable. We will get through this. Now, there was also a line of play that I'd neglected there, where I could have gone for the KO on Ambipom, as my opponent's board was full. They did not have an Apom or an Ambipom on the bench, which would have really stymied their tempo, but it's fine. I guess they also have the Miltank to attack with as well, but the Miltank doesn't even knock out the Wishy-Washy, so they really need these two. That's not enough. Reflip. Uh-oh. Oh no. Okay. So we attach to the Wishy-Washy here, I think, and then we'll Irida. We want... I mean, we can just take Squirtle. It doesn't really matter what water Pokemon we take. Ordinary Rod. Let's do both. Just do both. We can take both Kingdras. 2 waters. Right? Then, Incense. Kingdra. Kingdra. 1 more. And so we're looking pretty solid here. It's not too shabby. Now, Lucky Flip goes our way. And we take a lead. So, despite the slow start, we are able to take the lead thanks to a very unlucky turn from our opponent. And a lucky flip going our way. Now, just because we got the KO there does not mean that we're firmly ahead. Because we now have several turns of Ambipom to try and punch through. And unless I flip heads every single time, our opponent is going to have the opportunity to work their way back into this. For sure. Something going for us is that these Wishy-Washy have 180 HP and only give up 1 prize. That is a KO. Well done. So now we're going to move these energies to the Kingdras. I think I'll move them all to just 1. Maybe like 1 like that. Because they're 40 times. And so if they're caught with only 2 energy attached, they can't actually one-shot the Ambipom, which is certainly not good enough. On the other hand, Schooling Shot from Wishy-Washy does get the KO. You're going to make a video as well, Blahaj? Well, I look forward to it. You'll have to show us when it's done. I'm going to bench Horsey here in anticipation of getting our last one out of the prizes. I think I'm going to... let's do this. And we'll Schooling Shot. And just as easily as I had taken a lead, Coin Flip does not go our way, and Ambipom is presented with an opportunity to take it back. So, with 180 hit points, our opponent needs to flip 3 heads, and they're achieving a critical mass of energy at the moment with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Seems very unlikely that in concert with Glenwood Tangle that they do not get enough heads. So that is enough for a KO. Well and truly. So let's move some energy. And now, it's Kingdra time. Training court arrives at a good time. What's concealed cards here? Let's see what we can fetch from the deck. Nothing too exciting. The water energy... So let's go for a narrow line here where we start attaching to the Greninja. It may not be enough, but let's see. Let's see how we go. We do get the KO, which is quite good. It means that our opponent is now put to task and in need of establishing energy on the Ambipom. They do have only 150 to work through, but that still requires 3 heads. So we'll see. Maybe the Kingdra survives the turn. They did get the Glimwood Tangle back into play, so increasing their odds quite a lot. We may yet be in trouble. I think this audio is quite nice. It's it's not too loud. I think it sounds okay for all of you. If you're out there and you're just listening in, let me know what you think about the audio tonight. I am hearing the faintest amount of white noise in the background. But that might be fine. When I look at my audio levels, they don't seem to matter all too much. So I'm okay with it. Alright, we've got our Mega Kingdra online. Nice big 7 energy stack. Means, you know, it's doing about 280. However, we are up against Ambipom, whose longevity is not tied to its HP more than it's tied to the ability that's printed on it. We're going to Aqua Burst here. Unfortunate. A very simple line of play for our opponent. They merely need to attach any energy they can get their hands on and attack. And even without the Glimwood Tangle, it's looking likely to be a W for the Ambipom. Let's see what they can do. Now, if we were to survive the turn, Radiant Greninja does win on the turn following. So, even though it looks like we're on the ropes, we're only 1 turn away from winning. So I'm reasonably happy with our performance. Of course, the matchup is a little bit difficult to gauge, isn't it? It's a little bit difficult. Because the Ambipom can be really good if I never hit through the ability. But on the same token, it can be very disappointing. Speaking of which, good game. GG. Anime GG. GG. But yeah, I just wanted to experiment a little bit with the layout for these streams where I might not be using a camera. Everything went right? Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. It's good. So, for example, I've got this stream layout where does it put it? Over here. So this one looks a bit different. I'm gonna switch to it just to show you what it looks like. It's a bit odd. It's not. Okay, now it's showing the live view of my stream. I was just watching back. So during times where I just want to talk to all of you, I want something like this. You know, just a somewhat minimal layout. And we'll call it like Vice Radio or something like that. Maybe I could put some stylized text below it or something. You know, for when I want to just talk about the game and not necessarily be playing on stream. But anyway, that's just something that I'm thinking about, I'm considering. Let's run the Blastoise Kingdra into the ladder. See if we can't pick up a cheeky win. We gotta do it for the VOD viewers. I've been appreciating the comments that I've been getting here and there from those of you who are watching, even if, you know, of course I don't expect my schedule to line up with a lot of other people's. For example, I know that the majority of my viewership is from the USA. And despite how bad the time zone is for that. You're about to make a Vespiquen deck anime. That's exciting. Good luck. I could probably do that. Alright, so the turn is not necessarily lost. For a start off, our opponents had a bit of an awkward open, so they may not even attack us. If it is something like Darkrai, then I would say that they have a high probability of attacking on the turn, but they've really got to work for the bits and pieces. So here comes the Industrious and Scissors. Still got a supporter available. Oh no. We don't like that. In this stream, we don't like that. Turning off abilities is kind of lame. You know? It's a little bit lame. Yeah, I think I'm gonna work on some kind of audio-only presentation to just make things a little bit more interesting for all of you out there watching the VODs on these nights where basically earlier in the week I am not really able to set up and stream the way that I usually do. This is annoying. I think that we pretty much fold to this, don't we? Because we're going to have to manually attach. You can go level ball, perhaps, and take a horsey. Maybe. And then, well, Spike Draw does help us a little bit. Okay, because it is going to bring down the Galarian Weezing's HP by not an insignificant amount. So let's see what happens. We do have another Weezing in the back to deal with. Well, that's rude. That's rude of you, Weezing. Why would you do that? That's just cruel and unusual behavior out of this Weezing. Why would they pick on the Wishy-Washy? Come on, buddy. What did the little fish do to you? Alright. Promote the Diancie. Much to do about this board, isn't there? So here's the thing. We don't need Wishy-Washy this turn. I kind of want to grab another Horsey, but we can wait a turn. Let's see what we draw off Spike Draw. Okay, some better discard targets with the VIP pass. No energy is a bit disappointing considering the high amount of energy in the deck. But we will work with the hand that's dealt, so to speak. Figuratively and literally, I guess. A boss's orders hits the discard pile. Quite an aggressive line, but we're thankful nonetheless. Because if Squirtle or Seadra hit the active spot, it becomes very difficult to deal with. So we'll see what happens. What is good about Diancie is the 90 HP is a very important breakpoint for dealing with severe poison. Because what happens is we get poisoned here like so, 40 damage into our turn, and then we have our turn and it goes 40 damage back into theirs. And we're still alive. So we get just that little bit of extra time with the card. So we're going to go energy onto the Wishy-Washy in hopes of achieving a schooling shot on the turn. Let's Spike Draw. Energy or Supporter. That'll do. And as I described before, the Diancie remains alive with just 10 HP. And, you know, 10 HP is not a lot, but 10 is more than 0. So we're still in it. As long as it's above that amount, our opponent does have to spend another turn dealing with it. This is a fine hand as well. And we do get knocked out. That's okay. Let's go into the Wishy-Washy. It's going to be a bit hard, isn't it? Playing out the turn. Very tempted to keep the Irida. So maybe we can go like... Maybe we can go... Jeez, I really want to get the Wishy-Washies back. So I think Candy is always a pick. And then it's just up to us to decide what Pokemon we want. And it's probably Horsey. Alright. And we'll Schooling Shot. We don't need to Candy into Blastoise until the very last moment. Now, the unfortunate part is while this Weezing is active, Wishy-Washy goes back down to 30 HP. So, not fantastic, but we will deal nonetheless. The Greninja comes down and provides access to concealed cards, a very strong ability in the metagame at the moment. And foreseeably into the future as well, because discarding energy doesn't carry the typical drawback that it usually does. Often it's a very fine cost to pay. Interesting turn. So I'm going to... How do we do it? I really wish we had... something a bit different. But we will have to make do, won't we? I almost think that we have to attack with Blastoise on the turn. Yeah. I guess we're attacking with Blastoise this game. So that's enough to deal. Let's put the rest on the Kingdra, just in case. So between these two Pokemon, as long as we can get one more energy on the Kingdra, we can knock out the Weezing if it gets targeted by boss's orders, for whatever reason. What would be kind of unfortunate is if our opponent targeted down the Kingdra. I think that would really suck. But we're out here trying our best. We'll get there. So the Moltres is the promote. Thankfully, they perhaps don't have boss's orders handy. Fiery Wrath. Not actually enough to knock out the Diancie. So we get the candy onto our Kingdra. Very nice. And we'll research. That is extremely rough, to be honest. Wow. Was not expecting that at all. No energy. That is a bit of a bummer. Let's Ordinary Rod. Grab our wishies. Some energy. Okay. Promote a Horsey. Horsey's fine. Vitality Spring. A very paltry amount of energy, but we will just have to deal with it. Energy on the Kingdra, I think. So we are a little lacking for energy in the deck. There must be a few in the prizes, because there are something in the realm of 12 energy in this deck. There's 2 here, 2, that makes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there must be 2 water energy in the prizes, which is not an unreasonable amount considering how much energy comprises the list that we are trying tonight. I realize that this image that I'm using, the logo in the corner, it looks scuffed, to say the least. But never mind. Never mind. So here, I think we... Ooh. Actually, I can't attack with Blastoise here, so it's gonna have to be the Kingdra. Excuse me. And that's fine. I don't think Irida helps. It does, well, it does kind of actually. It does kind of. Actually, what's more annoying here is we really need training court. So we just have to research. I can't muck around with these. Maybe we could have gone for the Seadra. Yeah, I needed this. Because we're going to take an energy. Alright. And retreat into the Blastoise. Because I need all of this energy to transfer to the Kingdra. I have to do it this way. Let's level ball. Alright, we'll put Wishy Washy in hand, but I'm not going to play it to the board because it never gets used before the end of the game. Okay. So, it's looking not good. I am not really sure about the trajectory of the game at this point. It's a little bit ordinary. The Weezings do make it very difficult. And the fact that they use boss's orders there does not really help the situation very much. So unfortunately, it just took a little bit too long to get going here. What can you do? You know? Well played, I think. Hello, name is Jeff, and welcome back to the stream. How are you? I'm using a Blastoise deck. There's a lot going on in this deck, so I'm going to put it on screen for a moment, just to show you. I have called it Kingdra time. So, you have 4 Diancie. And you have 2 Wishy Washy, 313 Kingdra, 202 Blastoise, and a Radiant Greninja to boot. The strategy here is you need a couple of Diancies in play, and you set up a board where on your second turn, or the turn that you get to evolve, Rare Candy into Blastoise and Vitality Spring to a Wishy Washy. And then on the turn that you attack with Wishy Washy, you need a Kingdra in play, so that when the Wishy Washy gets knocked out, all the energy goes to Kingdra. And then Kingdra takes you through the rest of the game. By using the ability Deep Sea King, you can conserve the energy that you have attached. And it's just, look, it's a bit of fun. It's not the most competitive deck in the world, but we're here for a good time, you know. This is something I've been thinking about with Pokemon cards lately. I mean, it's always something I think about. I always think about what motivates you to pick up cards and play. And the problem with PTCGO is it doesn't necessarily give you meaningful goals within the game. And I'm not going to think about the rewards, you know, like the little daily missions where it's like, yeah, do damage to electric Pokemon or do this or that after, you know, anime, yeah. I'll well, put your list in the Discord. I think you're in the Discord, right? And I'll check it out after this game. So, yeah, I don't think that those missions that the game gives you is very meaningful. They give you motivation, they give you a reason to do them, but I don't think that they're interesting. They're not very interesting. Well, they're not interesting enough. Let's VIP pass. Now, we do have research happening here potentially as well. What does this need to be at a minimum? It needs to be Diancie and Squirtle, right? We do have the Horsey in play already. at a minimum, it must be these cards. Actually, not even Diancie necessarily. Let's go Greninja. And we'll Concealed. Okay, I'm liking the look of the board that we're starting to construct. Let's level ball. And we do need the Wishy-Washy. But do we like really need it? Is the question. But it is quite good, actually, for this. In fact, I'm even going to... The problem is how much HP this Miltank has is very annoying. I may regret this, but I'm discarding the boss's orders. I am relatively happy. Let's VIP. And we'll take Diancie and Horsey, I guess. No, let's take Squirtle. Because Horsey is not as important at the moment. We do need it. I gave you an idea for a Wishy-Washy deck, did I, Jeff? That's cool. There are definitely other directions you can take the deck in. I think a very sensible way to focus on the Wishy-Washy, if that's what you want to do, is to construct some combination of Frostmoth with Eldegoss and Nessa. And you can actually go back a while on my channel and find a deck profile that will give you a head start, because I did build a deck like that a while ago. So what would be great here is a way to attack with Wishy-Washy, but it's not going to happen, unfortunately. So I think that... Yeah, I don't think I even have Scoop Up Net. So I was kind of ruined by my opponent not knocking out the Horsey, but you know, it'd be like that. It'd be like that. I gotta have a think now. Do I potentially want to attack with Blastoise? Probably not. Well, maybe. It does have a lot of HP, you know. So I'm like kind of down for it. Let's go Irida. I think what I want is Candy Kingdra. Because one of the things that I do need to focus on is simply preserving the energy that I have. Because there are a lot of prizes to grind through here. So we do want to put energy on the Greninja. We do want at least one more on the Wishy-Washy. And then I want to put some on the Blastoise as well. And between Training Court and the energies that we have in hand, we've sort of covered our bases a bit. So you want to focus on a Blastoise and Wishy-Washy deck. So perhaps you remove the Kingdra. Yeah, that's not bad. I think that what you should do if you want to focus on Wishy-Washy... I mean, of course, you want to use the Blastoise to power up several. But I think what would also be ideal is if you include maybe just a 1/1 line of Frostmoth, so that you've got the chance that in the later stages of the game, you could play Nessa and grab maybe like 1 Wishy-Washy and 3 Water Energy. You could also use the Nessa to power up a Wishy-Washy that you already have with a lot of energy on it. And, you know, it could be quite good. Also, in Lost Origin, which is the set that's coming out after Worlds, you can consider something like Lady for that deck. Lady means that you no longer need Eldegoss. Although Eldegoss still has its place because it doesn't consume your supporter for the turn. So I think that people are underestimating how good Lady could be. It's not... It's obviously quite weak, but I don't think it's terrible. I have thought that the format needs a card like that because there are some decks out there that could use it. Especially these ones that just want a stack of energy in hand, you know? So, I mean, you're certainly entitled to sleep on the card, but don't be surprised if people try to make it work or if they find space for it. 202 Blastoise, 2-2 Frostmoth, 4 Wishy-Washy. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's a start. I think you would want to run Diancie as well. Don't forget this card. Very important. So we're up against Kumbi. Well, I'm going to Spike Draw, I think. And that puts the Miltank at 90 HP, which is an important breakpoint for Greninja. That's my strategy, and I'm sticking to it. Alright, Spike Draw. Rare Candy is a welcome addition to the hand. It does mean that once one of our Pokemon gets knocked out, we can put down the Horsey and look to evolve into a Kingdra. Almost said Seadra. Kingdra. Through the Rare Candy. Our opponent off to a pretty slow start. It does look like we've made their setup a bit weak thanks to basically not taking any knockouts. It means that Cynthia has not been able to draw the energy they would like to see. Amani comes out. We do get a water energy though, which is good. It is what we need to see. Vespiquen gets to evolve, and that's a little unfortunate for us, but that's fine. See what happens. So once again, if you're out there, please drop me a comment or a chat message. Let me know, does the audio sound okay? Because I am experimenting a bit tonight. So that's the primary purpose for tonight's games. I am going to watch bits and pieces of the VOD myself tonight to review how the audio sounds. It's fine with you. That's good. So an energy onto the Kingdra, and the game starts. Let's promote our Greninja and be a little bit annoying, because we're going to do this. Right? And I think we just... Well, do we concealed cards here? Yeah, we do. We do. I'm going to take the level ball and fetch a Horsey. Good. Take an energy, put it to the hand. That's what we like to see. I'm thinking knock out this and this. I don't know. Actually, this and this. Oh, actually, I should have kept the... Yeah, I should have kept the Miltank alive. Because the Miltank's just annoying for them. So, yeah, I didn't quite stop to think. The problem with that Miltank is that it's not one-shotting many of the Pokemon in this deck. Oh, I needed 3 energy on the Wishy-Washy. Oops. Whoops. That's bad. Misplay. Misplay. I won't make that mistake again. I also have a new mic arm coming. Should be here in a couple of days, which I'm looking forward to. I've been using a very cheap mic arm, and like, you know, it definitely does the job, because it's not like it's a very technical piece of equipment. It just has to do a very specific thing, which I'm glad that it is doing just that, and has done that for the better part of a year, or however long I've had it. I think it's time for a new one. It's like my partner's home, so this will be my last game. Paltry 60 from the opponent. Let's do this. Let's take energy away. Incense grabs the Kingdra. And these Pokemon are going to carry us through the rest of the game, I think. Let's pump. And wait and see what our opponent has on the back end. We have Ordinary Rod and a Research. We don't have any really good Pokemon targets for the Rod. And that's fine. Looks like our opponent is going for a long-term play on the Greninja, where they use quick shooting to knock it out over time. See what happens. So the Bruno is played, which means that they'll be looking for the Sweet Honeys. This gets 1, at least. But you better hope you have at least 3. Because if you don't, that won't be enough. Ooh. The Fabled 3. Fair enough. A KO was had. So... I'm going to concealed cards here, because what I'm looking for is a way to get our Horsey. Perfect, thank you very much. Okay, and we're going to sit on this hand, because the final piece of the puzzle is ready and waiting. And just continue to attach energy here. I'm not trying to think about it too much. We do have the tempo needed to win. Although I am a little worried we might lose it with this Greninja. It should be able to survive long enough, unless our opponent plays Scoop Up Net and is able to double quick shooting on the turn, perhaps. We know that they've got the triple honeys in hand, and they do have access to our training court, so... Excuse me. I do have the training court. Now, seeing that other Inteleon comes down is a little bit relieving, I suppose. Only a little bit, because you know, they could run the Water Energy and Aqua Bullet with Raihan or something like that, but otherwise what this means is that they can't do the scoop up play that I suggested. So let's see what happens. Yep. Alright, the quad honey. The maximum damage. Only having one Kingdra in play makes this a little less painful. Promote. Now, it's Ordinary Rod first. Let's do both. Take a Kingdra Lion, return it. Just being a little bit safe here before we play the Irida. You would hate to Irida and find that, just as we're finding now, that our other Kingdra is prized. Seems to be par for the course. Now we're set for the rest of the game. We do not need to worry about the Squirtle or the Greninja. At least not particularly anyway. Let's Aqua Burst. And we put ourselves at 1. There's that third Kingdra that may have undone us if, you know, if we didn't draw the Incense and we played Irida before we played Rod. That would have been quite a failure. Now this Greninja is very low. Maybe our opponent runs the Zigzagoon. That would be a way to win on the turn. Or if they had Rare Candy Scoop Up Net, they could evolve the Sobble. I kind of doubt both those scenarios. Maybe you do run the Zigzagoon in this deck because, you know, Honey Rush times 4 plus Choice Band plus a Zigzagoon drop knocks out 280 HP V-Star Pokemon like Palkia or Arceus. There's that Raihan that I was a little worried about, but the Aqua Bullet Inteleon doesn't seem to be an option on the table, so we'll see. Energy comes down onto the Miltank, which is a bit unusual, but it is it may be that the energy that goes there isn't very relevant. So we'll see. I could be wrong though. Alright, Honey Rush. I think that is the end of the game. So, thanks to being able to retrieve the Kingdra on the turn prior, we're able to see the Kingdra strategy come to fruition. So you see the different stages of the game that this deck maneuvers through. And this is what we're looking for. So the attack there would have been the KO, and that would have been a win for the Kingdra. Anime, thank you for the game. I do have to go offline now. My partner's home, so we're going to sort out dinner and things like that. Feel free to drop the list in the Discord, and I'll have a look at it in there and give you some advice. Or, well, about as much advice as I can give. I don't have a lot of experience with the Vespiquen deck, so yeah, GG to you as well. And thank you all for hanging out for just a short stream. I'll be back with a full-length stream tomorrow, so I hope to see you all then. And until then, take care. Be good, and I'll see you next time. Peace.